Module 15, that will be our last module this semester. We will cover the last chapter in chapter 21. We will review more about the string class, and we will talk about the string processing. So from module 1 to 15 will be all in our final exam. Our final exam is comprehensive. So what we cover from the midterm exam, that would be chapter 3 to 8, plus chapter 20 and linked list. Then after the midterm exam, we continue to cover chapter 9 to 12, and 13, 14 file processing, and 15. So then we also kind of talk about chapter 18 when we do the template function. So here will be our last chapter. So everything we cover here will from module 1 to 15 will be in your final exam. So in the final week, we will talk about the string object. We will talk about more the string characteristic. So then you will see how to create the string object. Then we can using many useful member function from the string object. We can find and replace or insert the characters into the string. And also we will introduce the string iterator. So we talked about iterator last week, but also we will have the iterator in the string as well. So at the end, we will see how we will do the string processing. In the previous courses, we talked about string. We know when we want to use the C++ string, you include the string library. So this string library actually is we call the C++ string. Each string, they are an object. So compare C++ string and the C string. The difference is C++ string is an object, but C string, sometimes when we say C string, so that's just basically the character array. So here we will focus on the C++ string. So before when we create the C++ string, after you include the library, you just can have your object name. So then we can just simply using the equal sign to assign the value. So then you will create a string object month content the March in the content. But here you will feel like this one is assignment operator. But be careful. This equal sign, when you declare an object using the equal sign, this declaration actually is not an assignment operator. On the other hand, when we declare an object, at the same time we're using the equal sign to assign the value, this one actually implies to call the string class constructor. Or sometimes if they are referred to other object, they will call the copy constructor. But on the other hand, be careful when you declare an object, then you're using the equal sign to assign the value. This one actually is not the assignment operator. They just simply to call the constructor function for the class. So then we will assign to the object. So that's usually when we using the string, how we will do that. But since we talk about the constructor, so then we will see more about the string constructor function. So here actually is another way you can create a string object. We call text. We declare that and we call the constructor to give them the value. So that's why we create a text string object within the content hello. So they are, of course, you didn't see any new keyword. So that's a static string object. You also have other overloaded constructor in string. So here you can just have a double quote to specify the content. Or you can specify here with the two parameters. The first parameter means how many characters you will contain. So then the second one actually you will make using how many the characters specified here to fill out the array. So on the other hand here, the name string object, they will contain 8x character. So also sometimes you see before we do the string, we also just we only declare an array. Sorry, we only declare a string. So for example, sometimes we also write like this. We write like this. We write here just the string. So maybe here I say the text string. So this one actually is, we say you just declare a string. But this one actually they did call constructor as well. But they call the default constructor. So here the default constructor actually they just call the default constructor. So then you have a text string. They're using the empty string. So that's also the other way they call the constructor. So that's we have many ways to declare the string. So when we have the string, actually, right, they are an object, but for the string class, they also provide many useful member functions. So one thing is, you can just like you treat it like an array. You can use the square bracket. This one, the same thing, we say that's an overloaded operator function from the string class. You can specify the index start from 0 until size -1. So the other hand, string actually have the other two member function. They all, no matter you say size or length, they just refer to how many characters in the string object. So then you can using either square bracket to access by the index, or we can using the at member function. So one thing different between the square bracket and the at member function is the square bracket does not perform the bound checking. What does that mean? So this one mean actually here, if my size is only 10, but if I using the 10 as the index, suppose we out of bound, right? But square bracket won't give you the error. But which one does perform the bound check? Actually, that's the at member function. So the member function for the at, they did check if they are out of bound. So that's why here they will give you the, they will give you through a exception. So then we will know they are out of bound. So that's different between using the square bracket or at member function. So the next one actually will show you two examples. So example 1, example 2, I both show you the source file where it is. So please download that at ROM. So the first one is we want to show you in the string class we have the assignment and concatenation operator. So then sometimes we use the equal sign. What does that mean? And also we can using assign member function. And also we will using the concatenate member function. So that will be the example 1. So example 1, actually here we will create 3 different strings. We have string 1, content cat. String 2, string 3, you will see they are initialized as an empty string. They call default constructor. So one thing is you can see because all of them, they are static object. So that's why when you have the string 2 assigned to string 1, actually here they will perform a dip copy. So that means string 1 contain cat. String 2 actually contain cats as well. But actually they are 2 separate dip copy. And then you can also using the assign. So assign actually they have couple different overloaded function. You can either assign just giving the string. So that's why here string 3 also the same as the string 1. But also assign, if you remember last week when we talked about the assign member function from the container, they also have using either one parameter or multiple parameter. So that's why your assign, you can have multiple parameters. So that's why you don't have to copy the whole source string. You can only copy part of them. Okay, so that's about the assign. But no matter here, we're using the equal sign or assign because they are static object. They all make exactly the same copy. So before line 20, actually all of them now, they are cat. How can I make sure they have their copy? That's why here you see here we're using the square bracket operator. So for the string 2 cat, the first character C I replace with R. So cat become rat. So then the string 3 I replace the 2 become R. So cat become car. So then if we run that, so that you will see here. That's originally, but after we replace, they are like this. So that's why we can make sure here when you're using the equal sign or assign, actually you make a deep copy. So when we make the change from at string 2 or 3, they have their own, they change only by themselves, the string 1 not being affected. So that's one thing is you can see you use the square bracket or you can using the add member function. They are all different. So then here we have some overloaded operator. So that you used that before too. When we're using the plus equal, that's mean you add the pet at the end of the string 3. So they become carpet. So then actually this one kind of equivalent to the append. So your append can append another string at the end of the string 1. So that's why string 1 make the change. So append, you can either give them just one substring, or you can give them the substring and tell them how you want to start make the copy. So actually string 5 will append from the 4th index from the string 1. So then tell me how many letters you want to copy. So then please run this program, then you will see after the concatenation, did you see they make the change correctly or wrong? So please make sure you will try one by one for each one how we will do the concatenation. So sometimes concatenation is easy if you just want to know if you know your what you want to add to the end. So you can just using the overloaded operator. But sometimes maybe they refer to another string object. So that's better using the append because they can specify where and how many letters you want to copy. So here we have the overloaded operator and the member function. But continue, I want you to run the example 2. Example 2, actually we will compare the string. That means we show you even more overloaded operator function. So you can using the equal sign to compare two strings. Are they the same content? Or you can use the greater or less than. Or actually we have another member function I want to show you here. That's the compare. So actually compares member function and less than, greater or less than operator, they are pretty similar. They are trying to compare two string. But remember how they compare two string. Actually they compare two string to see if the source string is greater or they are less than. For the compare, they will return the int data type. But here, greater and less than, they just return the bool data type. But no matter which one, when they compare, actually they compare the content for the source and target string using the ASCII character set. So that's important how they will compare. So that's why here we will see the example. We see you have string 1, 2, 3, 4. String 2 and 4 actually they are the same. So then you see when we want to compare string 1 and the 4, you see they only give you the true and false. But if we try to using the compare, so compare actually they will return you the integer. If they are 0, that means they are the same. If they're greater than 0, that means the source object, source string is greater than the substring. sorry, the target string.